won their elections in 1862. And so that's why we have a Gurley Street, that's why we have a Goodwin Street, that's why we have a McCormick Street, we have a Carlton Street. You might want to know, well, why in the world do we have a Montezuma Street? Actually, these guys thought maybe that the great Aztec chief Montezuma, maybe he had made it ever now and then this far north, out of the Mexico City area. And of course, we pretty much know he didn't. But anyway, out of respect for the great Aztec chief Montezuma, that's why we have a Montezuma Street. And we have a Whipple Street. And there was a guy in the General Paishan party that went and founded Fort Whipple, and his name was Willis, a Major Willis, and that's why we have a Willis Street. I don't know why we don't have a Paishan Street. Anyway, we don't. Yes?
Why do we have a Gail Gardner Street?
Oh, Gail Gardner, a long-time rancher here in Prescott, lived to be about 95 years old. Died, gosh, it's probably been 15, 16 years ago since Mr. Gardner died. A long-time Prescott resident and was big on Prescott history. And out of respect for him and what he did for the town, they named Gail Gardner Way.
Was his first name Gail and his last name Gardner or something?
His last name was Gardner. His first name was Gail, though. Yeah. Okay, who's not done with this slide of notes? Great, let's go on. Okay, and I told you that the first territorial capital would not be in Tucson. It would be here. In fact, one of the things that you need to understand is that even though John Gurley was the first governor, he never got out to Prescott. Right before, a week before the territorial party, official party, was supposed to leave to come west, he died of a major appendicitis attack.
Oh, goodness.
And so when that happened, President Lincoln then appointed John Goodwin, who was appointed the Chief Justice, to take Governor Gurley's spot as the governor of Arizona. So really, the first acting governor of Arizona was John Goodwin. And when Goodwin got out here, he went on a tour of the whole territory. He went to Yuma, he went to Tucson, and then he came back to this area, and that's when they made the final decision to put the town site where it is today. Fort Whipple is an interesting story. As I had said earlier, in the 1890s, these forts that had been created for fighting the Indian Wars, after 1890, there was really no more Indian problem as far as Indian Wars are concerned. And they started to shut down all these forts. And Fort Whipple, the question was, what do we do with this thing, these buildings? And the buildings were falling into a state of disrepair. And in 1905, there was a group of Prescott doctors that got together, and as time went on, people began to realize that Prescott was an excellent place for people to go that had tuberculosis. And basically, Fort Whipple then was transferred from a military station to a medical facility. And of course today, eventually, the VA hospital went in there. The main VA hospital was built there in the 1930s. And that's kind of what saved, these doctors pretty much saved Fort Whipple. So anyway, we're going to pick this up on Monday then.